Phil, thank you very much. Let's start with Linda Livingstone and her letter to Baylor fans, alums, boosters, whatever, about extending Dave Aranda. I text you when I saw that. What was your immediate reaction, and what do you think they're trying to do here?
My first reaction was, wow. I think that it's obvious to me, and I'm a coach, and I always feel for coaches, but I also know it's a win and loss business. And I think that the powers to be, whoever they are, couldn't get together or didn't feel confident enough to go out and clean the whole slate and start over. And they just didn't feel like doing it. And it's sort of shocking with the situation. And then watching the game Saturday, it went from bad to worse.
Phil, what do you think about Art getting that job at Eastern New Mexico? You got to be thrilled for your friend that he's just wanted to coach for a long time.
I'm thrilled for Art, but I'm angry about the situation. I'm angry that it's at a Division II job, which I'm sure is a great place. I'm angry of what he has been gone through unnecessarily. And when I see other people, and I'm not going to name names, but I mean, he has just been persecuted to the umpteenth degree, and it just wasn't fair. And unfortunately for him, this is where he has to go to. And I know this: they're going to get a hell of a coach.
Why do you think Eastern New Mexico? I know there's a connection with a person that's there that was at Houston when he was there. Is that's kind right. of somebody that will have his back?
That was his compliance guy. Art really liked him. They had a good relationship. And Art is going to bring some young coaches in, and he's going to get that thing going. I just today when I looked at it, they played close games last year, and he will be a difference maker for them.
Phil Bennett with us on Mondays in the 5 o'clock hour. One more question on that: are you going to be his defensive coordinator?
No. I tell you something. I'm happy for him. I was fortunate. I got a Power 5 job when we left Baylor. I think I was the only one. I got to coach. Art he's never got to finish it with his, the way he wants to finish it. And this is going to be, and don't be surprised. He might win there the first year, and who knows where he might be next year.
Phil, your Aggies take on Texas this week. And it's a Texas team that doesn't run the ball well. Their defense is starting to show some cracks, but they played better lately. And this is a rivalry game where you can kind of throw a lot of different things out. People might play above their station. What have you seen from A&M mentally that maybe gets the block of, oh, my God, it's Texas out of their head?
Paul, I really like the way Mike Elko has spoke this year about everybody waiting for the bottom to fall out. He just won't have it. And I think that goes a long way. He didn't have anything to do in 95 or 75, what happened, to those undefeated seasons that fell out. And this has been a resilient team. To come back and win 2 weeks ago at South Carolina, I just believe that they have a lot of belief. I think with Mike this year running the defense, Colin Klein has done an outstanding job offensively. I think they're very capable of running the table. Now, with that said, they're in this game, I've probably been involved in it as a player and coach more than most people, and it's crazy what can happen. Crazy.
Coach, I may have asked you about this last week, but I have to ask about it again after that win over Missouri. Brent Venables and that Oklahoma defense, the offense leaves a good bit to be desired, but, that's like a national championship caliber defense, is it not?
They are fast-twitched, aggressive, force the issue. I'm not sure that Missouri quarterback was ready to come back, but especially not to face that defense. They're very good.
They are also good on special teams. And as a defensive guy, weren't you as focused on that part of the game rather than the offense, because they kind of come together off defense and special teams?
Most of the defensive players play special teams.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, a lot of defensive guys, and they are good on special teams. And it was sort of like I don't think Mateer's been the same since he hurt his hand.
Right.
And I think you could. He's got great toughness, but I can tell that he struggles gripping the ball, and a lot of balls overthrown. But I still think he's a guy that is a great leader, and I think people feed off of him.
Phil, if you're looking at around the country, there's a lot of coaches that have now been retained. We'll just say Dave Aranda here. Right. He doesn't have an AD. The situation is really it's not ideal for anyone involved. But if his coaches leave, knowing it's a lame duck year, it's going to be hard for him to get the best guys to come in and take those jobs, because they're going to want at least guaranteed deals, because they know what's happening. And the talent that they do have on the roster, a lot of it is seniors and they're aged out. So there's no guarantee of what the roster is going to be next year. It's kind of a lame duck year before it starts. How does he navigate that? How do the players navigate it?
NIL. It's different than it's been. You can get interested if, let's say, Houston's offered $25,000, you offer $50,000, I'll be interested. I mean, that sounds sort of stupid, but it's the truth. I mean, you can get guys, and the other thing, Paul, you've got to put a real premium on. Obviously they're going to have a quarterback. They've got defensive deficiencies. If they are really sharp and hit the right guys in the portal, you can't say they will be out of it, because things can change in a year. You know it, and I know it.
Coach, what do you make, and kind of the people that you talk to, what have you made of this circus surrounding Lane Kiffin and this decision that I guess we're all going to learn about Saturday after whatever happens, or it was Friday, I guess. No, he'll make the decision Saturday, I think he said. So regardless, I mean, what do you make of this? How would you look at it from an Ole Miss perspective, and just kind of how are coaches that you've talked to kind of talking about this situation?
I really would like to know what's going to happen if Lane, if they win the Egg Bowl, they're in the playoffs. How are you going to leave that team? I mean, it's going to be an issue now. And take the LSU job. LSU's not going to wait much longer, nor Florida. So would they let him coach the team if he took the LSU or Florida job? Big question mark. One of the things the AD might have to look at is what's best for the whole and not the few. All those kids having Lane Kiffin through the playoffs is a positive. Even if he did leave and take one of the jobs, these decision makers are going to have to see that. It sounds like LSU has got close to $100 million contract. It's just Lane seems to be holding all the cards.
Yeah, he does. We've seen coaches take other jobs and stay, but it's different now, right? Because it's a playoff rather than a bowl game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think Lane could manage his team, because this truly is. It's different now, guys. This is a here and now season. That's what everybody plays for. I mean, this team, there'll be no reunions in 4 or 5 years. I was class of this, because everybody's moving. I mean, it's crazy. This portal and the attempted portal are going to be unbelievable. So Ole Miss has to make a decision, though. They have to make a decision whether they're going to allow that to happen, or if Lane says, I'm taking the LSU job, and they say, hey, good luck. The defense coordinator is going to take it over, or it's going to be interesting.
What is that like when there is transition with a coach? I remember when you guys were playing in Phoenix and all the rumors with Art in Texas, and how that kind of was the theme that week. It was an absolute.
It was a damn disaster.
It was, yeah.
And I spent more time talking to people. Even the Texas people were calling me, and it was a distraction. And I'm not ever going to blame a game on it, but I know this: it was a distraction. And our players heard about it. They're coming up. They're asking, and it's a struggle. Even when you go to these games, and whether it's a big bowl, a New Year's Day bowl, or the playoffs, I mean, you want the focus to be on the game. And if Lane did go, there would always be that outside that you would have to control.
Yeah, I just can't imagine. But if you're Ole Miss, even though you're now seeing people eye to eye with the way things are, but I don't see how he could coach them as they went through it. It's different than in the past because he's also got to start recruiting for LSU or Florida, whoever else it is, which, Scott Frost flew on a plane like a jet back and forth to Lincoln when he was at UCF. But that's a minimal thing because Nebraska was.
Let me ask you three a question.
Okay.
Would you stay at Ole Miss or would you leave?
I would personally stay. I don't think that if you've got a collective that's already committed to you, that you've got a roster that's already pretty much built, that you're doing good on retention, that they showed a year ago when they went out and got Walter Nolan and the guys on the defensive line, that if he identifies guys he wants, they'll go be competitive, and they'll kind of make it come down to, you want to be at Ole Miss, you want to be at the other place. It's not going to be about the money. I would stay at a place that the devil, to me is maybe better, or the grass isn't always greener. But I understand the pull of a place like LSU where everybody but one guy of the last four has won a national title.
Yeah. What about you, Craig?
Craig? Huh?
If you were
Coach Bennett's asking you a question.
Sorry, I was looking at an ad. Sorry.
If you were Lane Kiffin, would you
stay at Ole Miss, or would you leave for one of the bigger jobs?
I would stay at Ole Miss and build out what I've already been building, because I think it's unique to him and not trying to follow in the footsteps of others who have done it before. And I think it's a school that's already competing clearly at a really high level.
Do you think that in history, do you think Ole Miss is you can win a national championship there?
I think in this day and age, anything's possible with the right backing, more so than it was previous years. They've got better chance now than they did in the old setup, in my opinion.
Oh, my God,
I would agree with that. What about you, Smokey?
Here's what I'd like to do. Finish what I started and see how far I can take it. The other jobs are going to come open again. I mean, it's so volatile.
Yeah, he's still young to some degree.
Why not be the greatest coach in Ole Miss history if you could lead them into I don't know how far they'll go, but why not see if you could finish that? One of those other bigger jobs around you is going to be open again, and you could still get that same kind of contracted money.
Yeah. And I concur with everything you're saying. It's just the lure.
Yeah.
It's been done at Florida. It's been done at LSU. And a little bit, the stadiums are bigger.
Yep.
Everything about it is bigger than but there's something about when you have control of your destiny. He's never been told no at Ole Miss. Never. And I think that means a lot.
Then I want to circle back to again, and then we will let you go. And we appreciate it. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way.
Thank you.
Then Art was on the verge of taking the Texas job, leaving Baylor where he could walk on water. Unfortunately, it didn't work that way because Texas is Texas, right?
I think so. But I'm telling you, at that time, he even said this. He said, I think we can keep this going forever. And I did too. I was never in favor of going to Texas. I wasn't going to Texas. And at the end, the way it all came out, I regretted it.
Yeah. No question. Maybe a lot of that would have just gone into the wayside. Hey, what do you cook? You deep fry, oven? What do you do for Thanksgiving?
I want to tell you what. Our daughter in Austin is having her family over, so my wife has to go to Austin for that daughter to help those two daughters to help her. I'm going to Katy for my daughter, and I'm bringing Country Club Miramont turkey.
Wow. Wow. It's amazing. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate
Hey,
it.
thank
Happy
you guys.
Thanksgiving. Thank
Happy
you.
Thanksgiving.